My name is Charmaine Rich. I've been living here, Dade City, since 2017. Yes, previously I was in Brooksville, and way back when I was a young girl from the island of Dominica. I grew up in church. I grew up in the Catholic Church, where on Sundays, church started at 8 in the morning and you didn't leave until 2 p.m. So it was a kind of a culture shock coming to the U.S. and experiencing church here, because back home is you have to be very quiet, you have to be very still, and at that time the priest did most of the talking, and it was in Latin. I was 12 years old when my family moved here, and it was different. It was overwhelming, because growing up in the islands, I knew everyone in my village, and here the school was bigger than my village. So getting to know people and my strong accent at that time, it was difficult. Making new friends was difficult. When we moved here, we moved to California, then we moved to Texas, spent a little time in Virginia, and then Florida since 1985. Prior to coming to Cityhills Church was the pandemic. So before that, I was very active in my church before. But I found there was not a connection. I found I felt alone a lot of the time. So after the pandemic, we were home for a long time. We all were. And I was looking for something different. I was looking for something where I felt I belonged. And so just driving in my neighborhood, I saw a yard sign, and it said Cityhills. And every time I went to pick up my daughter or drop her to work, I saw the sign. And it didn't even dawn, it didn't click at that time. I'm looking for a church, the sign's right there, and I'm still not seeing the sign. So finally it clicked, and I Googled it, and I came, and that was March 27th, 2022. I think from just pulling up, even from the driveway in the parking lot, there was a difference. There were two young kids there directing me where to park, even at their young age, introducing themselves and making me feel welcome, even from the parking lot. And so after service, everyone came and introduced themselves to me and talked to me. But what was amazing, I think the amazing part was, this was in March, and in January, or actually December, the word I got from the Lord for the year was miracles, signs, and wonders. And so from January, that had been my prayer, and seeking the Lord for miracles, signs, and wonders, and getting to understand and know what that is through Him. And then the first Sunday, that is what Pastor Dave spoke about, was miracles, signs, and wonders. And so I just went home and just fell on my bed and just cried, because for 2 years of the pandemic, there was the aloneness, but then prior to that, there was the loneliness. So it seems like it all culminated there. I felt welcomed. I felt I was in the right place, because what the Lord gave me for the year was what He was speaking on. So I just felt like, this is it. I'm home. I'm tearing up. I think there's just so much love. And you see it from Pastor Dave and Pastor Brenda. They set the stage, they set the standard. And from them to the way down, everyone has that same characteristic, if that's the word, where they're just loving on you. So I would tell the person I invite, I know a lot of places say they're a loving church, but this church truly shows it. You don't wait too long to hear from someone. Someone's always reaching out to you. Someone's always checking up on you. Someone's always showing you love, and not just asking you, how are you, just as how are you, and walk away, but they ask you, how are you, and really care how you are. And another thing that really encourages me in being here, I just see how the leaders, how Pastor Brenda and Pastor Dave just pour out into us, and they just love on us and encourage us to grow. I like to stay in the back, and now she has me. She's speaking on in part of the women's ministry, coming up to teach something I've never done in my life. But then that forces me to seek the Lord. That forces me to get into the Word. That forces me to grow. And so that is wonderful. So how I would explain Cityhills Church to someone: you want a deep relationship with the Lord. You want to know the Lord as being more. You want to be in a place that's for your spiritual aspect, but also for the human aspect, people that truly care about you. This is the place.